Hi, everyone. My name's Katie with I Love a Clean San Diego, and thank you for virtually joining me today to learn a little bit more about our program and how you can help make a difference in your environment. For nearly 70 years now, I Love a Clean San Diego has served as the go-to nonprofit for environmental education and action to help residents and companies beautify the county and reduce waste. This program, Adopt a Beach, is a free statewide program run by the California Coastal Commission, and we act as the facilitators for these cleanups. Now, it's all about encouraging amazing groups like yours to take action for the environment at your favorite local beaches, parks, and inland areas. Funding for this program comes from the California Coastal Commission's Whale Tail License Plate Grant Program. A portion of the proceeds goes to this grant fund, so think about making the switch anytime at ecoplates.com if you'd like to support us further. Now, let's get started with a discussion on the importance of a healthy ocean and how pollution is affecting this amazing ecosystem. Now, whether you were born and raised in San Diego or just moved here recently, one thing we probably all have in common is an appreciation for our beautiful beaches. Now, while the beach is a gorgeous sight, there's also a lot more we have to appreciate our oceans for. Seafood is a major source of protein for over 3 billion people per year. So, if you eat seafood and want to continue enjoying it, you probably appreciate the environment in which that animal was living. Now, also medicine. The ocean is a giant, diverse ecosystem where scientists have begun to discover new medicines that save lives. Research has found that marine invertebrates like coral and sponges produce substances that can be used to make antibiotics, treat cancer, and help with inflammation. Considering the ocean is still about 80% unexplored, there could be plenty of other resources out there that can save more lives. Now, if you enjoy swimming, boating, snorkeling, diving, beach volleyball, any of the above, you all benefit from a clean, beautiful beach for just your fun and enjoyment as well. Now, San Diego's beaches are a vacation destination, and the economy depends heavily on these visitors. Question for you to stew on: would you or your workplace be impacted by less tourism or closed beaches? Now, I'll give you all a hint on a very big reason why the ocean is important. Can everyone take one big deep breath? Now, if you haven't guessed it from that little prompt or from the picture above, our ocean is extremely important for oxygen production. Forests tend to get a lot of the credit, but it's estimated that about 50% of Earth's oxygen comes from plankton in the ocean, drifting plants, algae, and bacteria. As you can see, we're all connected to the ocean in more ways than we might think, and having a healthy, clean sea is super important. Unfortunately, these ecosystems are under a lot of stress from different sources. So let's talk about what's going on with litter pollution. Now, we all produce a lot of trash and litter per day. In fact, the average Californian disposes of about 6.7 pounds of trash per day. So, where is this trash going and how does it end up in the ocean? So, when properly disposed of, our trash will usually end up in a landfill, and likely for most of us, the Miramar landfill. However, this is not a permanent solution for getting rid of our trash. It's estimated that the landfill might be filled to capacity anytime between 2025 and 2030. After this, where will we build the next landfill? Nobody wants it in their backyard, so this does pose a big issue to us as San Diego residents. Now, as previously said, ideally all of our trash will make it into a landfill, a recycling facility, or a compost, but sometimes this is not the case. So, what do y'all think are some reasons that the trash doesn't end up in the right cans? Some reasons might be due to purposeful and accidental littering. People might put trash in an overflowing garbage can. Even animals might dig trash out of a trash can. And if you didn't know, unfortunately, about 80% of the debris and pollutants that are found in the ocean do originate from inland sources like this. But how is it going from inland to the ocean environment? Now, whenever it rains or is windy, trash and pollutants that end up in the street flow straight through San Diego's watersheds and potentially right into storm drains. Unlike sewer systems, stormwater is not treated and flows straight into bodies of water like the ocean with all of the contamination and debris it picked up along the way. Now, focusing on storm drains, these are designed to prevent flooding by draining rainwater from the streets to our bodies of water. But like I just mentioned, they can actually have a pretty negative effect on the environment when there's too much litter in the streets. This is a photo of San Diego Bay following a rainstorm. It's really important to remember that our actions upstream directly impact the health of our waterways and our ocean. Now, this is an image of the Pacific Ocean. Within the Pacific Ocean, we have currents which move the water and form gyres. Image here is the North Pacific Gyre. These act like giant whirlpools where anything entering the gyre ends up in the colorful areas of the map. These colorful areas of the map are unfortunately also known as the Pacific Garbage Patch. This is an area where all of our inland trash has combined with any marine trash and accumulated to become marine debris. Now, this gyre covers an area of the ocean that is roughly twice the size of Texas. It takes up about 8% of the Pacific Ocean and contains over 100 million tons of debris. One study done even approximates that there is about 6 pounds of plastic for every pound of plankton in the patch, a horrifying statistic. Now, I've mentioned how trash ends up in the ocean, but what do we think are the most common and harmful types of trash found? NOAA has reported that the most common types found are cigarette butts, plastic bags, food wrappers, and abandoned fishing gear. This is all supported by our cleanup data as well. We find these items all of the time. So let's dive into some of these a bit deeper. Now, a lot of the items found in the ocean are made of plastic, a durable material made from oil and resin. It's a useful material for things meant to last a long time. However, we also use plastic for things like single-use bottles and straws. We use this material for a few minutes, and it can end up lasting forever in our environment. It is also lipophilic, which means it can absorb any chemicals it comes into contact with, including pollutants and toxins like motor oil and brake dust. In the process of photodegradation, or with exposure to sunlight, plastic breaks apart into smaller and smaller microplastics, but will always remain plastic. You can see this process occurring with these Cheeto bags pictured that were found during a cleanup. Moving on to cigarette butts. Butts are the #1 item found at cleanups nationwide. These cigarette butts contain harmful chemicals and many contain a plastic filter, which never biodegrades. Just one cigarette butt can pollute over 7 liters of water, so properly disposing of these butts in an ash can or a waste bin is the best way to keep them out of our waterways. Now, here is a sample taken from the North Pacific Garbage Patch mentioned earlier. This sample contains plastic and small invertebrates as well, but also tiny photodegraded bits of plastic. Imagine you are a fish looking for food. If this is the water you're swimming through, what will you eat? The plastic or the food? I'm sure we can all imagine it would be really hard to distinguish between the two. Now, let's dive into the impacts of marine debris a bit more. Ocean pollution is a huge stressor for marine life and affects over 800 species worldwide, with almost 80% of the source coming from plastic pollution. Fish, seabirds, marine mammals, and more face habitat destruction, entanglement, ingestion, and contamination from these pollutants. Whether accidental or not, plastic can have detrimental effects on marine species when ingested. Scientists estimate that over 50% of sea turtles and 80% of all seabirds have consumed plastic in their lifetime. They even think for seabirds that the number may rise to 99% by 2050. Now, this is really bad because it can cause animals to starve due to their stomachs feeling full from all of the debris. Further, plastic is able to absorb chemicals that it comes in contact with, like DDT, BPA, and pesticides. Now, when these microplastics are consumed by smaller prey in the ocean, it may work its way up the food chain to affect and contaminate larger marine mammals and predatory fish with these chemicals as well. Another staggering statistic for you, corals that come into contact with plastic will then have about an 89% chance of contracting a disease afterwards. If you have a favorite marine mammal or animal, it's likely that they're greatly affected by this unfortunate phenomenon. Now, plastic pollution has even started to affect us as humans as well. Microplastics aren't just found in the ocean. They've been found everywhere, from tap water to our own stomachs to even human placentas. This poses an issue to our health, as several chemicals used to produce plastic material are known to be carcinogenic and can negatively impact our endocrine system. This can potentially cause a variety of developmental and immune disorders and plenty more. Ocean pollution can also affect us whenever we eat contaminated seafood. And trust me, no amount of soy sauce is going to cover up the chemicals in our sushi rolls if we don't address the problem. Additionally, as mentioned earlier, certain species like those marine sponges have been really beneficial to developing new treatments and drugs that treat cancer, chronic pain, and more. The list goes on and on. So if we want to keep discovering new ways to improve our health, we want to ensure that the ocean environment stays healthy. Now, even though all of that might sound a bit doom and gloom, there's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel. We as individuals can have a large impact on this issue, and you're helping improve the environment right now by just showing up to volunteer and learning a little bit more about this. Each piece of litter that y'all might clean up is preventing an animal from ingesting it or getting entangled in it. All of these small positive actions add up tremendously. Now, besides these cleanups, there are other steps you all can take to help out the environment and tackle the issue from the start. One way is through more volunteering. Taking action is a wonderful way to inspire others and help see your direct positive impact on the environment. Make sure to check out our I Love Clean San Diego events calendar for more cleanups, storm drain stenciling, invasive plant removal, and more. You can even sign up for your own Adopt a Beach or independent cleanup and host it in your neighborhood or community. Another great way is to start at the source of this issue. We really recommend taking a look at your own consumption and making lifestyle changes that turn off the tap to the litter pollution cycle. Contributing to a circular economy where we reuse, repair, and recycle properly will help reduce the overall amount of litter and trash in our environment. Few ways to go about this are by going to the grocery store and using reusable produce bags, reusable grocery bags, or even trying to buy in bulk. We can make our lunches zero waste by using reusable takeout containers, bamboo reusable utensils, reusable napkins, and more. For drinks on the go, we can focus on having a reusable travel mug or water bottle, or even reusable straws. And starting at home through green cleaning, we can make sure we're swapping out our paper towels for reusable rags and sponges, or even making our own DIY green cleaning products. If y'all are interested in learning more, feel free to check out some of our resources online. We have an awesome website called wastefreesd.org, which is a free resource you can use to find out how to repair, recycle, or best dispose of almost any item. And this website also has more zero waste lifestyle tips to keep in mind. We do host free workshops as well if you're looking to learn a little bit more about any specific topics in general. Now, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me at either my email or my number up above. But I do want to just thank you all for supporting this program and for wanting to make a better impact on your environment. We could not do what we do without all of you volunteers, and I wish you the best of luck with your cleanup. So have fun out there, stay safe, and keep doing what you're doing.